Yeah, I got some rings and a range. Can I kick it? Yeah. Don't ask me a thing. How I got her, how I did it. Yeah. Spend the whole half, had a blast. Can I kick it? Even with a sprain, pain. Can I kick it? Just the flex, I went and bought a chain. Can I kick it? Things ain't been the same. Things have changed. Can I kick it? People acting different, so I ask. Can I?
Hey, could count on my power. Hey, look at my dog. It was way back then. Could claim what you saw, but you weren't with us. The higher the climb, the harder the fall. But how did you get up? I done got rich and went broke, then got rich again. Just a little hiccup. I live it bought on this pickup. Remember me being so bummy and being so hungry, I had to eat gristle. Ay, how did the lady go miss? Ay, her she was magic, she mixed. Met her at one of the functions, we caught a little rhythm. She caught up a friend, they kissed and we dipped it, and that's how we kicked it.
Let me explain what I did. Can I kick it? Hold on. Yeah, I got some rings and a range. Can I kick it? Yeah. Don't ask me a thing. How I got her, how I did it. Yeah. Spend the whole half, had a blast. Can I kick it? Even with a sprain, pain. Can I kick it? Just the flex, I went and bought a chain. Can I kick it? Things ain't been the same.
First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. A moment ago, here was the scene. The Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Carolina Panthers. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. First carry here for Todd Gurley. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
I mean, you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield. Celebrating the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Ryan. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Ryan. And that is incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10.
At their own 41-yard line.
Bridgewater going to lead the Panthers up here, 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. Well, he's going to take a shot right away. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, trying to start it out with a bang. but it's second down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest, and with a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
The ball carrier.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
On third down, Bridgewater. Found his target, it's Anderson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That's a third down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Grady Jarrett on the tackle there. Remember how he emerged in the Super Bowl against New England? Continues to step his play up. Was a Pro Bowler for the first time after 2019.
So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater. And this is incomplete.
You know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Yards to go.
An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is third and 10. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. And he's got his target. That's more. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 13-yard line. Nice third down conversion and even 20 yards. From the 13 now, they work on first and 10. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
McCaffrey, the ball carrier.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Fourth down now after a loss of 2.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
And this one is right through. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Fielded near the back of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession and try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Loss of 2.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. A big play there by the rookie. An interception followed by the return for 6 points.
If you want to be accepted by your teammates and coaching staff, make plays like that.
He's got it, and now it's a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter.
Panthers 10, Falcons nothing.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving into more up-tempo type of an offense, just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
4 yards remain for 2nd down. From the shotgun, Ryan looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
And he'll bang that one through.
Makes the score Panthers 17. Falcons nothing.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
On the pickup.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
3rd down and 2.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35.
First down.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing again, Ryan. This one caught by Ridley. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 17-0 our score after 1.
Falcons nothing.
Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Ito Smith, his first carry. Oh, he's got a little daylight. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Ryan. He'll find Taylor. That's complete. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Operating from the gun, Ryan. Down the numbers. There he goes. 30, the 20, 10, and he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards.
At their own 21-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
It's caught. Smith. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
34-yard line.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Ryan. And his throw here's incomplete. That was Dante Jackson, the one who got a hand in to knock it away.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
But one thing's for sure, when you've got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
They go play action here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey his 9th touchdown of the season. And this offense continues to pour it on. What an excellent run. And from the beginning, the defense just looked a little fooled, a little out of position.
A little bit frozen, too, because when you hand the ball inside, you lose sight of it oftentimes as a defender, and your eyes naturally gravitate to the quarterback. And before they realized it, he was off and running through the thick of the line while the quarterback faked it and carried it outside.
And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense?
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off around the 31. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field, so play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more, but a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
Bridgewater going to give this to McCaffrey. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
They'll give it up to McCaffrey. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll give to the fullback on the dive.
Came up about a yard short, but I can't help it, Brandon. I love it when the big guy gets the football and he tries to battle his way forward. There's something about those guys carrying the ball and watching people trying to stop them. That's just great theater.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This a 33-yard attempt. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Isaiah Rodgers on the return. The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he ran right through 1 tackle as he fights forward for a gain of 7.
It's a game.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
From the 24, Ryan. And my goodness, another interception. Dante Jackson picks it, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now a handoff to Davis. And that play will go nowhere. Loses losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Falcons' 49-yard line.
2nd and 11. Here's a give to Davis. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Here's the Panthers punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And they will get to this one and down it at the 13-yard line.
At their own 13-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. You're under 30 seconds to go. Field position not great. Time to call it a half, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know we all have that little extra gene that says let's push the envelope a little bit, right? What needs to be going through the play caller's mind right now, a potential fumbled snap that can get returned, a strip sack that can get returned, right? Any of those types of plays, that should be a deterrent to calling something that could get you in big trouble.
This complete to the former Longhorn Marcus Johnson. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
24-yard line.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now.
Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Ryan. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
Incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Final play of the half. It's Ryan. And here we go down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a round. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Second half starts with a run by Davis. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
He was brought down at the...
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line.
Back up the middle.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. Here's the Panthers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
First and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And Charles, the good news, they got to stop defensively. The bad news, this is a huge hole that they're in right now. How do they start to dig out of it?
That's a great question because we're not even going to talk about how do they win it, right? We want to see how they can kind of claw back and at least make themselves feel better about the game, because this one is likely out of reach, but maybe one possession at a time, try and play a little bit better and have some respect when you come out of the game.
Another carry now for Gurley. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chunking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
3rd and 2. Now
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They'll indeed go for it with Ryan. And some space here. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now a handoff for Gurley. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
The tackle.
But they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
On 3rd down, Ryan. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And that will be incomplete.
I'm getting getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as he'll go for it on fourth down. That's to his running back, complete. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
2nd and 6.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Here's Davis now. And he'll take this one down to about the 40.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Again, it's Davis. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down.
Joey Sly for the Panther field goal. A 56-yard attempt.
That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. Well, they got the ball already. They're not going to risk the yardage and running another fourth down. They decline it.
And what was that they taught you in law school, that possession is 9/10 of the law?
I didn't go to law school.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Well, I'm going to give that to you anyway. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and it's 9/10 of this game, too, having the football counts.
You're so litigious. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
48-yard line.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he is finally going to be brought down, but not before he gets it to the Panthers' 14-yard line. And in 2 plays just like that, they're already operating in the red zone. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On first down, it's Gurley. And he'll take this into the end zone. And we do have it flagged down. So let's see what this is about. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one. Hence the decline.
And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play.
41. Falcons 7.
Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. This will make it into the end zone. The Falcons grab it. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Again they run with Gurley. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On third down, they'll run it with Gurley. He 10. And down to the 7-yard line.
There's a run there by Todd Gurley, and we all know he's looking to rebound from the least productive season of his career. And I think Atlanta presents him a great opportunity to do just that. They'll use him really well running it as well as catching it out of the backfield.
On 1st and goal, Gurley. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
At the 3-yard
Well,
line.
Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
You want 2.
you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Todd Gurley standing by his lonesome in the backfield here, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Todd Gurley with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Falcons get a bit closer. And the lead drops from 34 to 27.
Good. Makes the score Panthers 41. Falcons 14. Sterling Hoffrichter.
Now following the touchdown, Hoffrichter to kick off. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Panthers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They're in control here as they start 1st and 10 and appearing to have righted the ship following that 2-game losing streak. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr.
Dante Fowler Jr.'s career has had some real twists and turns since being a first-round pick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Remember, he hurt his knee and didn't even get to play his rookie season and has finally found his way in the league. Last year in Los Angeles with the Rams, had a career-high 11.5 sacks. That's why Atlanta got him in the offseason. They needed to boost their pass rush, and he's the guy to get it done.
And he'll be taken down at the 18.
22.
Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box.
Accelerating, and off he goes. Past the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel, his first touchdown on the year. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he'll get this one up to about his 14.
Gurley.
Yetur Gross-Matos there to bring him down.
Taken down at the 14-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Falcons on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They're running with Gurley. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth.
At the 23-yard line.
So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On the handoff, it's Gurley. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now they'll throw it with Ryan. Short throw underneath to Hurst. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And that's caught by Smith. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. From midfield now, here's Ryan. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
He was covered by Dodd.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Going right back to Jones. This time the connection made. And they will get this across midfield, but still well short of the 1st as he's dropped at the 46. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Go for it on 4th, but this one's going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Panthers will get the football back. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We you know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.